We got this story from the Daily Mail. Sarco suicide pod used for the first time as an American woman, 64, uses the capsule to die in Swiss woodland, prompting police to swoop in and detain staff. Now, I'll be honest. Most people don't actually care about this story, but I think this is something we got to talk about. This is the nightmare dystopia happening before our eyes. They have begun building suicide pods to kill people. Yo, man, this is nuts. Take a look at this. The Sarco suicide pod has been used for the first time. Its creators have confirmed, with an American woman aged 64 believed to be the first person to have died in the device under a canopy of trees in Switzerland. Police in northern Switzerland said that several people were detained on Monday and that prosecutors had opened an investigation on suspicion of incitement and accessory to suicide. No, I say murder. If you bring someone a weapon that you know will be used to end their life, you murdered them. That's it. She couldn't have done this if you didn't build that machine and give it to him. The Sarco suicide capsule is designed to allow a person inside to push a button that injects nitrogen gas into the sealed chamber. According to its creators, the person is then supposed to fall asleep and die by suffocation in a few minutes. Prosecutors in Schaffhausen Canton were informed by a law firm that an assisted suicide involving use of the Sarco capsule had taken place Monday near a woodland cabin in Meereshausen, police said. The woman who died in the capsule had reportedly been suffering with a very serious illness that involves severe pain and wished to die for at least 2 years. So here we can see in the map where it took place. Look at this. I can't believe they built this stuff. The Sarco pod, jeez, which creators say allows the occupant to trigger their own death. The last resort, jeez. The Swiss firm behind the Sarco said in a statement. On Monday, the 23rd of September, at approximately 16:01 CEST, a 64-year-old woman, Central European time, from the Midwest in the USA died using the Sarco device. It said the co-president of the organization, Florian Willett, was the sole person present for the death, contrary to police reports. Dutch newspaper Volkskrant has reported that police detained one of its photographers who wanted to take pictures of the use of the Sarco. It said Schaffhausen police had indicated the photographer was being held at a police station but declined to give further explanation. According to Last Resort, Willett said the woman's death had been peaceful, fast, and dignified, taking place under a canopy of trees at a private forest retreat in the canton and Schaffhausen close to the Swiss-German border. The organization said the woman had been suffering for many years from a number of serious problems associated with severe immune compromise. I don't believe them. I legit do not believe them. One of the challenges in medical treatment is that pain is relative to the person. So I've been in these situations where I would describe the pain I experienced as the most severe pain I have ever experienced in my life. About 10 years ago, I had an impacted wisdom tooth, which became infected with an abscess. Gross, I know. And they had to remove it. Now, the pain I would put as at the time, when I was feeling the pain in the left side of my mouth, it was swollen, it was hard to talk, and I was like, man, this sucks. 6 or 7 out of 10. So I went to a dentist, had an emergency extraction of the wisdom tooth, which was brutal. After that, they cleaned everything out, gave me antibiotics, and they gave me Vicodin. Vicodin does not work on me. Opiates do not work on me. They do nothing. Ibuprofen works. For whatever reason, man, opiates, they do nothing for me. I hate that garbage. And so I'm sitting there I take the Vicodin. It does nothing. And 10 out of 10. In fact, if I could describe it as an 11, I would call the pain searing, higher than I've ever experienced in my life, and nothing's ever come close. I was pale, sweating, and shaking, and every second felt like an hour. It was torture. Brutal, brutal pain. For real, I later in life had a kidney stone, and 7 out of 10. At a certain point with any of the pain, I just kind of stops hurting for me. Not that impacted too, though. That was nuts. I was like, Lord, help me get through this. I could not. Other pain, I've just like, I don't know. I whack my shin with my skateboard and it hurts, and I'm like, what am I going to do? It hurts, but like, I can't. It's not like groaning doesn't do anything for me. Just walk it off, I guess. What are you going to do about it? This is the point. For everybody, you experience pain differently. And to somebody who's never experienced that degree of pain, like the highest it could possibly be, searing nerve pain, which is like cluster headaches too. Like the reports of these things are terrifying. I mean, look at these woke snowflake babies at colleges, right? They're like, it hurts because he called me a mean word. It's like, wow, you've never been smacked before, have you? Because that hurts too. A lot more than getting called a naughty word, right? Not that I advocate for either. Don't insult people, be nice. But you're allowed to insult people, I guess. But don't hit people. So what happens then is, if you get somebody who grew up and they've been cushy, living in this cushy life, and then one day they get an illness where like, wow, this really hurts and I don't like it. But the pain on average, let's say this degree of pain a person has experienced on average would be a 6. You don't end their life over it. But what if they're a dainty, weak snowflake going, it's a 10, I can't take it, it hurts so much. And they're like, better put him in the Sarco pod. That's crazy. That's why we don't do this. And I think one thing to realize is that different painkillers work on people differently. They work on people differently. So I'll tell you this. When I was prescribed Percocet, when I had a kidney stone, oh man, you get high. It feels crazy, but the pain doesn't go anywhere for me. So I'm just like, it's useless. Just give me some ibuprofen. That's it. NSAIDs. That seem to work for me. But how about instead of condemning someone to death because of the pain they're in, we try to figure out how to save them, how to end this problem for them. The bigger problem I see with it is that what if someone comes out and tells you I'm in pain and they're not? They say this a lot. People go to the doctor and they'll be like, I'm excruciating pain. It's a 10. And they'll be like, here's ibuprofen. No, I need more than that. I need more. It hurts so much. And they'll say, okay, fine. Here's Percocet. And then they go, because they were lying. In fact, this is a plot in TV shows. It's so common that the person comes in and says, oh, help me, please. They're a junkie or something. They're going to say the last resort who anticipated that there would need to be an investigation after the launch of the device said it had informed the police it had been used. Cops seized the Sarco capsule and arrested a number of people at in the Marahausen area, were taken into custody. They say Fiona Stewart, member of the last resort, poses next to the Sarco suicide machine in July. I think these people are evil. I think they're genuinely evil. They are destroying and killing. It's brutal. Man, I don't know, man. This is so messed up. The device was used in the same day as Swiss Interior Minister Elizabeth Baum Schneider told the National Council that she considers the use of the Sarco in Switzerland to be illegal. Thank you. The Sarco suicide capsule is not legal in 2 respects. On one end, it does not fulfill the demand for the product safety law. On the other hand, the corresponding use of nitrogen is not compatible with the article on the purpose in chemical laws. You're also killing people. How about that one? Jeez. Swiss law allows assisted suicide so long as the person takes his or her own life with no external assistance, and those who help the person die do not do so for any self-serving motive. Did this person give them money? Did she pay them? Peter and Christine Scott told the Mail this week that they have made the decision to end their lives at the same time. That's insane, man. Some lawmakers in Switzerland have argued the law is unclear and have sought to close what they call legal loopholes. They say Peter and Christine Scott, married for 46 years, they made the decision after former nurse Christine, 80, was recently diagnosed with early-stage vascular dementia. Like the solo pod, the last resort said the 2-person pod would be constructed using a 3D printer and would be ready for use as early as January. The pods work by replacing air, which is 21% oxygen and 79% nitrogen, with 100% nitrogen. Of the ways to end someone's life, you become hypoxic, your brain stops functioning, and then you never wake up again. This renders the occupant unconscious, and then they stop breathing in a process that creators expect to take less than 10 minutes. A camera inside the pod records their final moments, and the footage is handed to a coroner. Nitschke said his associates designed the Sarco, which is made using a 3D printer, to be free, with people just paying for their body to be removed by funeral directors. The only anticipated additional cost was expected to be $16 for the liquid nitrogen used in the pod, making it more economical than other dying clinics, which charge upwards of $10,000. 3D printed, low-cost murder. I'm not a fan. Not a fan indeed, man. Should be illegal. I also think it is... I'll stress this. I'm not a Christian. I don't follow the Bible. But I certainly believe it is a mortal sin to take your own life for any reason at all. And it could just be because I was raised Catholic, and so those Judeo-Christian moral values do exist within me. But I have a logic that forms around my faith and spirituality and what I truly believe. I believe God is real. And many people try to convince me, oh, you got to be Christian or whatever. But I just don't see that. And I don't know if that will ever be me. So sorry to all those who are trying to save my soul. But what I do think is that we are here for a reason. There's a greater purpose, and that includes suffering. I was watching the movie The Invention of Lying. And in it, Ricky Gervais is trying to tell people about the man in the sky. And so he's just lying, and no one else can understand what lies are. They believe everything is true. So he's like, there's a man in the sky, and he's responsible for everything. And they're like, he crashed my car and killed my wife? And he's like, yes. And he's like, that bastard. He's like, yes, but he's also responsible for all the good things, too. And they're like, really? So he's kind of a dick, but he's also kind of a good guy. Look, oversimplification. Fun movie, though. I view it this way. Everything exists within the confines for a reason. These things exist, be it the balance of nature and reality, yin yang, the golden ratio, or otherwise, the laws of thermodynamics, equal and opposite reactions, whatever. And that means without darkness, there is no light. Without down, there is no up. Without pain, there is no euphoria. Without suffering, there is no joy. And so we exist. And these are a component of what we must endure. And for some reason, some endure substantially worse than others. You know, I've talked to people who are anti-organized religion, and they make these arguments where they say things like, God is not a good person. He's evil because of the suffering, babies with AIDS, the Holocaust, etc. And I said, these are within the yeah, I know. And there's that quote. I don't know if it's true or whatever, but there's a line they say was found scrawled at a concentration camp. If God is real, then he must beg for my forgiveness, or something to this effect. If there is a God, he must beg for my forgiveness. And I think no matter how awful things are, these are within the confines of what is expected of man to endure. They exist. For many people, it ain't so bad. And for some people, it's nightmarish and like hell on earth. But I believe taking your own life is a violation of the natural order and the purpose of life. Life does not exist to terminate itself. And so I believe that there will be repercussions beyond. I believe there's something beyond this life. I wonder. I don't know what it is. Some people think they do know. I don't know. But I believe that we are here for a purpose. Maybe it's rudimentary. We are but part of a simulation. In which case, we have a purpose to fulfill that provides data to the greater. And by taking your own life, you don't fulfill your purpose in violation of the order of the simulation. Or maybe they just watch you die. I don't know. Or maybe there's something greater. Maybe it's a simulation sorting algorithm to see who is of true virtue and who can endure and who cannot, and who is good and who is evil. And then when you terminate your life, you cut that test short. Or maybe there is a divine God who sent his only son to sacrifice himself for all of mankind, and you are not to take your own life. It is a mortal sin, and for that you'll be cast out. There's a lot of reasons to believe, but I simply say we are here, we are alive, we are life. We create, we build, we protect. Sometimes for the sake of creation, we must destroy, but only so long as we create more. And taking your life, I believe, is very, very wrong, even if you are suffering. And so it's a challenge. It is. Medical technology keeps people alive longer than they normally would. If there is a person who's suffering a crazy disease, 100 years ago, they might have just dropped dead and then it was done. But these days, we can save you. I think that's a component of why we're alive, to save these people. I guess so be it, though. The darkness will continue, and you will get these suicide machines. I'll leave it there. Next segment will be tonight at 8 p.m. at youtube.com/TimcastIRL. Thank you all so much for hanging out. For those that are still watching live, we will go to your super chats. Go to getcominghome.com if you need the iTunes player, but you can download the song. You can pre-order the song, which will be out Friday. Music video dropping along with it. Thank you all for hanging out. We'll see you all tonight.